Hello and welcome to History of Dragon Ball. Today we are looking at whether you should watch Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Kai. A big thing that we need to remember these days is that all fans of Dragon Ball are not as old as me. Many of you will be from that younger demographic who quite likely got into the fandom through the likes of Dragon Ball Super, whether that is the series or the Battle of Gods or Resurrection F movies, even though they were technically labelled as Z movies. But anyway, the point I'm getting to is that so many of you will have met Goku as a Super Saiyan 3, so you still have the incredible pleasure of being able to watch Goku's earlier life for the first time. Something I would love to be able to do again. Let us say you've gone back to look at what you need to watch. And well, yes, you have Dragon Ball, but then after that, you have two options for something that is really the same thing. There is Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Kai. They appear basically the same. So which should you pick? What really is the difference? Well, that's what I'm going to go through for you all today. Now, Dragon Ball Z is the original one, so that is where we will start. It is the one that, at least here in the UK, was shown on Cartoon Network's Toonami every day when I got home from school, and it became one of the most action-packed and incredible shows I have ever watched. I mean, just from this show, I would stand in my front room, basically screaming trying to turn into a Super Saiyan. There aren't many other shows that could do that to you. I can't imagine what my parents would have thought. But anyway, Dragon Ball Z is definitely the longer of the two. It includes much more filler, which does sadly mean that there are a few times when bits can become a bit pointless or perhaps boring. Kind of depends on the person. Because perhaps maybe you enjoy the deeper look into the lives of our heroes. Maybe even Goku and Piccolo learning to drive is a highlight to you, not one of those oh my god, what are they doing moments. However, when you get to the end of the series, you're very unlikely to really ever care about having watched that. The payoffs of the show are just that good. Another big thing with Z is the music. Now, I know a lot of this can come down to simply a personal preference, but personally, I would say the music of Z is by far the best. Z had Bruce Faulkner as its producer, and the themes that he came out with are still iconic to this day. It's the kind of music that if I need some motivation, I could just put one of those on and it just gets me pumped up for the entire day. He is truly a man not to be ignored. Would Goku turning Super Saiyan for the first time have been so epic without him? Unlikely. Or when he first turns into Super Saiyan 3, or when Gohan arrives in his mystic form against Buu? I would say definitely not. Z definitely has these things going for it. Then we also have to have a quick look at Dragon Ball Kai, which is obviously the more modern remastering of the series. Dragon Ball Z was first released in Japan in 1989. Dragon Ball Kai did not come out until 30 years later in 2009. Straight away you know from that the quality of the animation is going to be of a higher level due to this. Here they cut the show down to be closer to the original manga releases, meaning no filler and no edited scripts. So, good or bad, it means the moment of
"It's over 9,000! What, 9,000?"
actually becomes
It's over 8,000! 8,000?!
It's over 8,000. Maybe right with the original, but it's not the moment people remember in their heads. But then carrying on, Dragon Ball Kai is also the more light-hearted in general. There were several moments in Z that were quite dark, if anything, and there was far more blood too. Again, some people may definitely prefer it. I prefer there being more blood. But for the younger generation, maybe if you want to get your kids into it, or you're just not really a fan of a lot of blood, then Kai might be a safer way to go. Because that's basically what they did it for. They wanted to cater Kai to a younger audience. So they removed a good amount of this. Some of the voices also changed when they came to make Kai 2. This wasn't necessarily a wanted choice, but obviously after 20 to 30 years, you're unlikely to be able to get the same people to do it. I'm not saying that this is a good or a bad thing here, I'm just saying it's a different one. People in both series do a great job, it might just be a bit jarring if you're used to one and then hearing the other. However, one of the main things though is the main man Goku managed to keep the legendary Sean Shamal for both English dubs, so that definitely helps. And one thing I need to make clear here as well, Dragon Ball Kai was not newly made from the ground up. Yes, it is the newer version, but to create the show, what they did was they took the majority of the Z footage and retouched the scenes that they already possessed. Kind of like giving it a facelift. Yes, there were 1 or 2 new bits added, but these were so few in number that they barely register. The biggest new thing that they really did in all was add a new intro and outro to the show. So, with that little background of both, let us have a look whether you should be watching Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Kai when you want to go through the series. Yes, Z does have its flaws, from some unnecessary filler to the occasional bad bit of dubbing, and some lower resolution quality. However, when you bring in the music, the experience, which kinda comes from it being the original, then I would still say I would recommend Z more. Maybe just find out which episodes are filler and skip those if filler is really one of the biggest bad points for you. Maybe I could even make a video on which episodes are filler for you in the future if you wish. If animation quality is the most important thing to you, then Kai is the stronger of the two to a certain degree, but I never had issues with Z, so I would never say it is a deal maker or deal breaker. That can definitely just come down to personal preference yet again. After all, if you were going to watch Z today, you would really have to make a good effort to find the original releases that so many kids grew up on. These days you are most likely to find the remastered DVD versions, which themselves had improved the quality from the original, as well as adding in the widescreen support too. So it's not like you're ever going to be watching that really low quality one we would have got on the TVs back in the day. And something else to add in that is quite interesting here, and just a little bit of a bonus piece of knowledge, is if you were to watch the original English dub, and I mean the original, you may notice that a lot of the characters' voices would change partway through. This was because they actually changed studios partway through production, and therefore changed some of the voice actors. I'm really sure that must have been jarring for quite a few viewers back in the day. However, as you're most likely to find the remastered versions these days, you are most likely to find the fixed version of this that just keeps the same voice actors all the way throughout. But still, if you ever do find it, it could be an interesting thing to hear. So with that, we kind of need to come to a bit of a conclusion. Whether you want to watch the series for the first time, or perhaps you just want to revisit it after many years, or maybe just a year. All in all, despite Dragon Ball Z being the longer one, for me, nostalgia is bound to play a big part. The filler doesn't bother me, the payoffs seem far more satisfying by the end, and the music is a game changer. But that is not to say I have never watched Kai either. It still is interesting to see a closer cut to the manga, and at the end of the day you do get the same story, you do get to live through those same experiences with Goku and his friends, and all in all it's with a cleaner image. Neither one is really a bad option. If I just give you one example of it, yes, when you look at Z when Goku turns Super Saiyan, the Bruce Faulconer music is just incredible and really sets the scene. They draw out Goku's transformation, which really just builds that moment.
I won't let you!
With Kai, they do make it quicker, however it does all look cleaner, and you do potentially get a slightly different line from it.
I will make you suffer!
So as I'll repeat again, neither one is bad, I just have a personal preference of the Z version. But again, all of these decisions end up coming down to you. You can do whatever you wish. So from that, I would love to hear what you think of my reasonings. Do you agree with my points? Would you pick Z or Kai over the other? If you're going to watch either for the first time because of this video, then please let me know what swung it in either way's favour. I'd love to know all of your thoughts and opinions on this entire subject really in the comment section below. And so now we are at the end of this video. I would ask if you are enjoying the content here, then please like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, share the video, do all that great stuff. It massively helps me out and I would really appreciate it. And also I want to mention another channel that I am currently getting involved with. I'm sure most of you already know about the other channels that I am closely involved with, like that of the Broken Sword for Tolkien content, as well as Jake's channels of the Sixth Ranger and the Batcave. However, we also have now just got involved with a wrestling channel run by some of our friends. This one is called Attitude Wrestling, and me and Jake have been brought in to help present and record voiceovers for it. I know that there can be a bit of a crossover between Dragon Ball and wrestling fans, so I thought it could be a good place to shout this out. So if you're interested, please check it out. Link will be in the description below. It's a great fun little project to be involved with, and we just want to support our friends. But now, I will leave you at the very end here with a massive thank you if you have managed to reach the very end of this video with me today, and I will see you next time on History of Dragon Ball.